This is another Disney podcast production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Plan for the Magic. So glad you are here. I am Audrey, my co-host over there, Dave.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. We chat about the great Walt Disney World and hopefully offer some tips on how to plan for your next magical vacation.
Or wing it.
And yeah, I'm the planner. He's the wing it. Although, before we get started, I need you to just go ahead and practice your smug smile. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute. Okay. I don't even know who I am anymore because I just booked a weekend trip for Andrew and I to go in the winter.
What?
I know. Go ahead with your smug,
No,
I'm
it's
not
fine,
saying you
but
were
it's no
right.
kids, so it's different.
Okay, yes. There
and
are
you're planning it. You're not just like, we're going.
That's true.
But I get what you're saying. This isn't one of your typical long,
drawn
out, take forever vacations.
No, we're going to go for a weekend. So we had, I think I told you that we had some airline credits that we had to finish using. They were about to expire. Yeah, we had booked a trip and then I was able to use that credit for our trip to Orlando this fall and had some left over. So we're just going to go again. But we will have a whole episode on going without children because
that is the life.
It is the life. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. So,
is it just like hang out at a resort, or are you like going to the parks?
Do I have to just tell you all of these things? Okay, I'm not turning into you for the record.
Well,
but it might be, assuming Disney does open annual pass purchases, that Andrew and I will upgrade our tickets from the fall trip to annual passes.
Okay. It's a great idea. It's a great money saver. That's one thing that we should always talk about. Well, let's talk about annual passes because there's nothing we love better or more to do on the ADP network than speculate. Right now, there's a joke between me and Brandon. We're about 2 for 9,647,000. But to be honest with you,
he called fireworks by the 4th of July, he got that one right. That's one of the ones.
That is one of them. But really, those numbers are good enough for the Hall of Fame in baseball. So I think we're doing just fine. So let's talk a little bit about that. So here is where I think we're at with annual passes. Yeah. Okay, so let's take the boring approach. All right, so the fiscal year for Disney will begin. The fiscal year for 2022 will begin October 1st of 2021. So 90 something days from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, which is actually just happens to be when Disney World opened, and so that's going to be the start of the 50th anniversary, whole different conversation. Okay. So here's my speculation. We will know they will be back before the start of fiscal 2022. That is my prediction. And that's because here's why. So that's going to start a whole new year for them. Right. And so they want numbers and money and everything open by then so they can have a full year of recording that data.
Yeah.
Right? Plus it's just the start of a new year. Now think about how long ago that they yanked the rug underneath the Disneyland AP holders, and that still hasn't come about, right?
Right.
They just pulled the rug from the Paris annual pass holders. And then if you, for breaking news, of course, this won't release for a couple of weeks, but they just announced today that that Fast Pass is returning to Disneyland Paris. And it is a paid premium, and off-peak days are going to be €8. On peak days are going to be €20, I think, 20 something euros. Anyway, basically for a family of 4,
per ride, right?
Yeah, per ride. For a family of 4, you're talking it's going to be €100 for a ride during peak time. Like that. I am not one
saying that you're not a huge fan. I mean, no. Let me repeat. You have said there are some good things about not having fast passes.
Yes.
So maybe having them priced at the premium will kind of do the best of both worlds, where it'll reduce everybody using them, but also for the folks who can shell out an additional $500 for rides, have a good time.
It is, if you follow our regular show, it's not a secret that I am excited about this, because I think it prices out the majority of people.
Yeah.
However, time out, right? Okay, so if you're...
I want it, for clarity's sake, you're assuming then that this kind of model could show up at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, like here's the thing. So right, so we have to sit on the fence and look at both sides, right? So like, is it going to fall either way, right? So I think one of the things that could happen is, well, can we have a tri-section fence? Can we have a tri-section? There are three ways that I think this can go. Okay, and one of them is not like it used to be. I don't think it's going to be free. Like they've broken the barrier. Fast passes are no longer free. Okay, there's no more fast passes anywhere else in the world except. Well, I don't even know. I know they announced it. I don't even know if it like literally started today or not. Didn't pay enough attention to it. All everybody was talking about was the number. So here's where I think that the three places could go. One, it could be it could be at the two heavy parks that are. The two parks that are heavy locals. So maybe this will be like they do at Disneyland, and this is how they do it at Disneyland Paris. Walt Disney World is a whole different beast, and it could look different. Or they could roll it out. Now, this is silly when you're talking about how many gates are all over the world. Like, that seems silly to just focus on the three biggest parks or the three main parks, because they've got a whole plethora of other parks all over the world.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's one of them. They're going to roll this out to all of them. Yeah. And this is how it's going to be. And I said a tri-fence. I don't have a third, or nothing changes at the rest of them, which I don't think is going to happen. We're way off topic here, but like, it's just wild to think that. I thought it was going to be expensive. I hoped it was expensive. That's astronomical.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a family of four. No, I mean, a family of four is $50 to ride.
Right. Well,
Space Mountain.
Yeah.
In addition to whatever the $200 that you spent per person to get into the park.
In the park. Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. That's
so
a whole
I don't
deal.
hope that it fails miserably, because then they'll get rid of it and go back to like it was, and it's going to be long lines. Anyway, but yeah, so back to my original point, I think my speculation is this, we'll know late summer, early fall of what's going to happen with AP's company.
I think that's our gamble. And frankly, I mean, if for some reason it doesn't happen or we choose not to upgrade, I mean, I just want to eat at all the restaurants. My kids don't want to eat at, so I'd be fine with that too. And we're doing a split stay, I think. So
fair enough.
We'll see. I know. Okay. Actually, we have a planned episode. That was like the longest intro ever. Where are we? If you have hung with us this far, we appreciate you. We always appreciate you. Dave, you're going to tell us about your vacation. Yeah. So last episode, I did my trip report, and we were ships passing in the night. You were down as I was coming home. I want to hear about it. I have not heard about it. So let her rip.
Okay. I will start at the beginning.
Might interject with questions, because that's how I do. Okay.
I will start at the beginning, because I watched a movie one time that it said that's a very good place to start. Yes. One of the best movies ever. Okay. Let's see. Where we went to Orlando, obviously.
Yes. How did you get there?
We went for a couple of days to Disney. We did not stay on property. Shocker. But our original intent was not to go to Disney at all. And then we were like, well, we ended up on Orlando. So I'll try to give the quick version. My wife was like, it's been 18 months since we've been able to travel for real. I don't want one of your short trips. Let's all go somewhere for like a legit week. I said, you got it. So we looked at
great idea, planning for a long vacation. Just hypothetically speaking. Go ahead.
I know. So we looked at several different places, and we have always loved going, like we live near the beach, so we always like to go where the water is pretty. Now, don't get me wrong, like where we live is great. I love it. I mean, I love having access to the water. We have access to the Chesapeake Bay, which is nice because we have kids, so we can just be lazy parents and lay on the beach while they play because there's no real current. They can walk out like 3 football fields and it's like chest deep.
Yeah.
And so it's just really safe to be there. And then we have the regular ocean front where all the tourists are. And then there's some local spots that we can hit that kind of has the crowds. Your touristy crowds are away. But yeah, and we can bike to a couple of them at the main ocean, and then we have to get in the car to go to the bay. But either way, it's all worth it. So our water is just not like Caribbean blue and beautiful. So we looked at a bunch of those, and of course everybody else was wanting to do what we were. So we were looking all up and down to go see the pretty water that's on the Gulf of Mexico. And so just really couldn't find anything. So we ended up in Orlando, but we stayed, like I talked about, at Margaritaville Resort. It's our first time staying there. This resort, this particular one, they have them all over the world. They do have some in some Caribbean destinations. They have them in Europe, I think. They have them in Gatlinburg, or not Gatlinburg, but somewhere in, they have them in Tennessee in the mountains. They're strategically placed in hot spots, obviously, the way they built these, and they kind of theme them to whatever area that they're in. So it was really, really cool. This one obviously was themed like beachy, palm trees everywhere, massive pool. Loved it. We stayed in a 2-bedroom cottage, which they have a hotel, but the 2-bedroom cottage was amazing. So it was, they call them cottages. It was a house. So they have anywhere from 1-bedroom, 1-story homes all the way to 3-story cottages that have 8 bedrooms. So it's crazy. Now this is Margaritaville resorts aren't new, but this one really kind of is. It opened roughly 2.5 years ago, but you're talking 18 months of that was a pandemic and nobody really traveling. And so it still felt very, very brand new. Anyway, had a blast. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then, there's a water park right in front of it called H2O Live. Like their whole theme is like social media and being live online. Really bizarre, really cool rides, really incredible park. The worst layout of something that I've ever been to in my life. It was like, so if you were here, you had to go.
Okay, he's pointing to his elbow.
Yeah, so you're at your elbow. You have to go all the way around down your arm, around your hand, and back down to the other side of your elbow to get somewhere that was like 10 feet away. I just, that was my only gripe. It was, so you walked and walked and walked and walked and walked.
And that, I have to say, that feels different at a water park than it does at the
because you don't have like you just pounding your feet, and it's just like you're out in the sun and you're like the pavement on. You're like, I know I sound whiny for being on vacation and getting to go to a water park, but I've been to. There are tons of water parks here that are nice and open and very direct paths to get everything. I get that there was a method to the madness, but I almost equate this to the generation that grew up before us, Audrey. Grew up when they built shopping centers with square parking lots that were easy to get to. Now parking lots are built for accidents and they have to put islands everywhere, and you're like, like it's just there. So I feel like this generation of design is just not for efficiency. It's like, look how well I can design this and put all this stuff in here. Yeah, we just want a square open space to move about freely. Anyway, that was a really long, whiny tangent. But yeah, please send your complaints to Audrey at audrey.com. Anyway, okay. So we loved staying there. The resort, like, again, big, massive pool. The hotel lobby was cool.
When you were telling us that that's where you were staying, you predicted that you were going to come home with one of the margarita machines. Did that come to fruition?
Yeah. But what's crazy is the one that was so in every cottage is a Margaritaville like mixer. They have them on Amazon, but they're like anywhere from like $250 to like $500, right? So it's not restaurant level, but they're pretty intense. You just put the ice on the top of it, and you hit one button and it like shaves the ice, then it blends, then it stops, then it blends a little bit more, and then you're done. It's ready. So we wanted the one that was in the room, and it was $500 on Amazon. I was like, well, so we were shopping in the little thing that they have in the hotel, the gift shop there, and they had the one in the rooms for $299.
No.
So I was like, yep. So I bought that, and then we were going to ship it, and then my wife was like, just put the whole box, don't take it out of the box, and then we'll put like shoes and dirty clothes a little bit. Like it was just enough room to put around it. And then I went to Walmart and bought a duffel bag and threw all of the rest of the stuff in the duffel bag that was like clothes that we could just and check the duffel bag.
Yeah.
It worked out great. We've used it countless amount of time. We were over at the in-laws for last night for the 5th. Like we went over for the actual holiday. We went to dinner and I brought it over there. And
all right, I told you, hopefully sometime this summer I'm going to come back home and visit my folks, and we're going to do an in-person together podcast recording. I'm going to request a
margaritas. Gosh, we made mojitos. We made.
Oh, yum. I actually love those a lot.
Yes, that was the hit, was the mojitos. Anyway,
okay, I'm sorry.
This is going
I digress.
way off. I love it. If you're here for Disney, sorry. Just kidding. So the water park, and then they also have this shopping / like eateries and desserts shops anyway, right there called Sunset Walk. So anyway, it's almost this, if you go there and don't have a car, there's so much, like you've got the resort pool and spa and your room there just outside of the resort. Yes, you can walk to that water park, and then you can walk to that shopping, dining, like there's a movie theater, a big arcade, like a Dave, I don't know what it was called. I think it was called Game Time, but it's like a Dave and Buster's. If you don't know what either one of those are, look them up. They're massive. So the kids played, gathered tickets, and we came home with 47 bags of knickknacks that they collected from all the tickets that they got. Okay, so our Disney portion of this was, I have an annual pass. We have 2 kids and then my wife. So we were like, okay, Kim's going to be there. She's finally there. She hasn't been to Disney in almost 4 years. And so I was like, let's do it. Well, unfortunately, because of COVID and the way things have risen, prices have risen. English is my favorite. It was for us to get a 2-day hopper.
This is painful. I know it's coming. For
2 kids and 1 adult was $1,140 after tax for 2-day hopper. Now I know the annual passes are going to go up drastically when they come back, but I think I paid $1,200 for my AP when I renewed. So I was like, and so it was basically $200 per person per. Now I know, like, we were paying for, it was $40 cheaper per ticket if you didn't do the park hopper, but they were only going for 2 days, so it didn't make sense. Right.
So you wanted to have the flexibility. Yeah. I totally get that.
So here's where we landed. Kim was like, I don't care, I don't want to go, because I told you she likes Disney, but she doesn't like $1,200 Disney.
Totally get it.
So what we did was we got a single day park hopper for each of the kids, and so I took our daughter, and then mom and son had a fun day at the resort together, and then I took our son a couple of days later, and then she had a mommy-daughter day, like at the resort. So it worked out as like it was a break from the kids being together. We each got a day with the kids. Smart. So it was great. This was literally like 2 or 3. When you were there, did they release, or it was just coming, or it was right before you left, that it was maskless everywhere except for transportation?
It was that way during our trip.
So it changed over during your trip?
Yes.
Okay.
On Sunday, Monday, I think, everybody wore masks indoors. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of our week. And then you guys showed up on the weekend.
Yeah. And so we were like, I can't tell you I had been 3 times during masks everywhere all the time. And that was such... It felt very normal. Like, I know that word is being overused, but like, I felt like, I know some people are going to freak out when I say this. Like, I was like, like, it just felt like you could go and be on vacation and be be human again, and not wander around with like all of this fear. And it just felt really good. And I still felt like nobody was really that on top of us at the lines, but it was again, like, I mean, all social distance
That was
markings
over.
had been removed.
Because we weren't in the parks. I didn't notice that part nearly as much. The masks for sure, just inside the buildings and stuff. So, what did you guys do? Did you do magic? What were your first? Tell us where you went that first day.
So it worked out great because when we originally bought the tickets, we had to buy Epcot because nothing else was available. It was so frustrating because you have to burn like literally till midday until you could get into Epcot. Gosh. And so we were kind of frustrated / but we didn't really have a choice. And so then like, I don't know, 3 weeks or so before we went, Disney raised the capacity level and then everything opened up again. So I hopped on and immediately changed one day. So we went on a Sunday with my daughter and Magic Kingdom was available. So we went there first and then hopped to Epcot, I think later that night. And then I went on Tuesday with our son and Magic Kingdom was full, but we could still do Hollywood Studios. So we could still get somewhere in the morning. And so we did Hollywood Studios, hung out there till 2 and then headed over to Magic Kingdom. So that's basically what we did.
Oh, I love that.
Again, they're still little enough that Magic Kingdom is definitely going to be the bigger win of all the 4 parks. I mean, she has some rides that she really loves.
Little enough for the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, it's still my number 1. I think Epcot has always been my close number 2. Right now it's like at the bottom of the barrel because it opens late and it's construction everywhere. I'm like, I don't even want to go there. But it is slowly getting there. So how was it
like in June? I know you typically aren't a summertime in the parks kind of guy.
One day we were there, it was I think it was that Sunday, it was like oddly comfortable. And then that Tuesday, it was brutal. It was like 103 in the shade or something like that. I mean, so it wasn't, I mean, it's kind of like you say, it's in the summer, plan accordingly.
That's right.
So my wife bought them like little rechargeable fans, not the ones that you wear in the neck, but one. Well, I mean, it was a string that held down, and then they could just hold it in front of them. And
that's great.
Isaiah's still small enough that I could get him a stroller, so we rented one from a local stroller company that delivers right to the resort. They're brilliant. Awesome. If you don't know about that, look that up. I'm not affiliated with any company, so I just pick one. They're all great. It's just make sure it delivers to whatever resort you're staying at. It's fun. It was like $60 for 3 days. We only went to the park one day, but we got to use it. Like we got it. Oh, yeah. Like we went on Tuesday, but they dropped it off Monday and picked it up Wednesday. Well, Monday night we went to Disney Springs and took it with us so we could push him around, so we didn't have to walk. I mean, it was perfect. So we were strategic in a lot of the things that we did. But as far as if you're going on a Disney vacation and you're looking at off property, I cannot recommend Margaritaville enough. Like I'll be honest, like 2 or 3 days in, I was like, I don't want to waste a day not being here going to Disney. I just said that out loud.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm going to need to pause and rewind that.
Yes. I was like, because when you go to Disney all the time and then you do something new, even though it was right there, I was kind of like, well, I'll be back in October. But I did it for the kids. I mean, that was just their one shot to be able to go. But it was, I mean, that resort is phenomenal. Like the little cottages, to be able to have your own place. Yeah. It was unreal. Margarita mixer. I mean, it was literally, it was paradise. You did not feel like you were in Orlando other than stepping outside in the heat and humidity.
Right.
But the pool area was phenomenal. And they did like all the typical stuff that they do at the big resorts when you like go to the Caribbean. You could get like a hair braid with like the color thing. You could get, they did fill a little bottle with colored sand. We all did the make a tie-dye t-shirt. I mean, so they had all kinds of the fun stuff that you see like, at any Caribbean resort. I think they even do that at Disney and stuff too, at some of the resorts. Don't they do like a tie-dye?
There's resort activities, yes, every single day.
So, I mean, I feel like that was really short. Am I missing details?
Well, I'm curious about so no fast passes. And you guys were just there. They had just opened up capacity. Mm-hmm. So obviously you stand by your fast passes being gone are fine. How did that play out with y'all's waiting in line, just how were the crowds, I guess? Did they still feel smaller? I know that you had been a few times during COVID.
Yeah. The crowds felt, I mean, the times that I went in COVID, especially the couple of early ones, like Main Street was almost like a ghost town.
Yeah,
Main Street felt very normal, and that's because I think you remember people just kind of wander down Main Street because they want to take the pictures. They want to, when you had the masks on, and there wasn't that many people there. I think there was less of people like, well, I can't take my mask off. Do I really want this picture? But to me, I embraced it. I was like, we'll look back at this in 20 years and be like, remember when we had to wear masks and do like, so I want to do that. Yeah. So the crowd, but the ride stuff, I mean, you had, I never saw Mine Train more than 65 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you'll never see that with Fast Pass. It's like 2 hours, 2 hours plus, in the middle of the day. Their Epcot is still kind of rough. I mean, I feel like Test Track is always 90 minutes
the Soarin'
plus.
Test Track, Frozen.
Yeah, no, Soarin' was a walk on.
Oh, what?
I mean, in the evening we went to, because we got over there
that's
about.
Right, you hopped over. Yeah.
I mean, it was open till 10, and I think we got there at 7:30. I mean, so we rode Spaceship Earth, and then
of course.
did Finding Nemo. By the time we got over there, I mean, it said 20 minutes, and we were like, what? We you walk all the way down, and we had to wait for one queue in front of us. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom I mean, you're on Tuesday, that day it was really, really hot. Obviously Splash Mountain was really long, but the day that we went, it was kind of cool. It was never more than a half an hour at its peak. We kind of walked right in and right up to, Big Thunder Mountain. Mm-hmm. When you walk, you kind of go off of the queue and you start the down ramp. That was where we caught the line both times, was on the down ramp, which is basically you're like 2 train cars from being on.
Totally.
So yeah, I again, it's still low enough, especially in a heavy park. I mean, in a heavy attraction park, like Magic Kingdom, that there's so much for people to do and they can disperse. Yeah. We got into the park. This was are you ready for this? This was a Sunday. We're talking a weekend, the morning of, in the park, 10 something. I got a 1:30 reservation for the Skipper Canteen. Sit down meal for 2.5 hours later, could reserve it. Done. So that was our daughter's first experience. She really liked it.
She did?
Oh yeah, I love that place.
Oh,
their steak is money. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's not Le Cellier, but
were you were you refreshing, or it was just there for the taking?
I just went and looked. I just checked it. I was like, well, I'll keep checking it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Because I never do
really
pro tip.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, you give yours.
No, you do yours first.
Pro tip. When you go to make a reservation and it says breakfast, lunch, dinner, I don't ever choose those. I select time, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and just keep going. And then I would, and refresh. What's your tip?
Yeah, my tip is, people, it's a 24-hour cancellation. So do not stop checking, especially the day before you go. People are going to cancel those lunch, dinner reservations. So the day before, if you have your heart set, it's not a guarantee, but don't give up. Keep looking.
It's funny. It's a $10 charge, I think, but people are like, I don't want to lose $10. No. As much I will give another pro tip. This is a really bad tip, but it's definitely a pro tip. I may be guilty of booking a reservation at a eatery that is on the monorail loop, just to be able to park in the parking lot and not have to deal with the TTC.
Do you just call it a $10 fee?
And then just eat the $10. Is that bad? I know that's so bad. We've done it at the Wave a lot because you can walk. What, you've never heard? Oh my God. Every time, usually the last day, right? If it's our last park day and we're flying out that day, I'll try to get one for the Wave so we can just leave the park and walk across the street, get in the car and go.
I'm floored. I mean, brilliant. It's really brilliant.
Yeah.
By the way, the Wave is being redone, or the rumor mill has that the Wave is done. Heard that.
So yeah, oh my gosh. Sneakery. I'm sure we'll get hate mail for that, but
where else did you eat? So Skipper Canteen.
Ford's Garage, which is a kind of, I think it's a chain because there's several in Florida, which is basically like this burger bar joint, but there's this like old timey 1920s Ford vehicle out front. And then there's there's another one exactly like that. There's 2 bars in there and they're over top of the bars hanging. The biggest thing is I'll put some this is going to sound really weird, but the biggest thing that they're known for is their bathrooms. So I'll throw a couple of pictures up here now. Audrey, I'll show you later of what their bathrooms look like because they're unreal. They're just they're themed so amazingly. It's really cool.
Did you eat at Disney Springs or just shop?
Oh, we ate at Chicken Guy. Kim had never gotten to do that.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
Oh, I love it. It's like my 5th time eating there.
Yeah.
Love it. Because I'm a sauce guy.
We got stormed out. Do what? You're a sauce guy.
I'm a sauce guy. So I'll get one and then I'll buy like 4 sauces so I can try new ones every time.
That's so smart. Yeah, I'm bummed that we got stormed out. And we did go into World of Disney, but it was so packed. I couldn't do it. It was too full of people. But now I regret, I didn't get my shopping fix, but another time. I always think there's going to be I'll just find it online, and Shop Disney has not a very good selection.
Not everything.
I always regret.
I did get a fun Hawaiian shirt. There's the new one. I don't know if you see that app, the kind of red with him playing the ukulele and Minnie dancing. I love it. So I got that, and I got like a long sleeve one that's kind of summery Hula E. I don't know, beachy. So I was like, I loved it.
Yeah.
What else am I missing?
Okay, food, wait time, crowd. Do we know what capacity is?
No. My guess is close to 50%. That would be my guess.
Okay, because this is at least the 2nd time. And they, of course, reopened Boo to You tickets, too. They keep kind of... I think that's it. That's all the questions I can think of. So we will follow up. I want to do an episode where I talk a little bit more about the places we stayed on our trip. There's some things I learned about Coronado Springs, some thoughts about Animal Kingdom Lodge. So we'll come back to those. And then Dave, I also thought since it's July. We're not close to the October trips, but we're close to some important planning times.
Yeah.
Dining.
I know. Ohana.
Yeah. So maybe before too long, we'll do a check-in on where we are planning for our fall trip.
And we're still in a tough place with, I wish we could get the inside scoop on Pop. And so what I mean by that is when I booked forever ago, I chose, it was just Matthew and I were going down and then we were going to meet, Brandon and stuff. Well, after we booked at All Star Music, Brandon was like, he said, "Hey, we have a surprise for you." I was like, "What?" He said, "We booked the whole time you're here. We booked at the Pop. We've taken off. We're doing like a legit vacation with you guys." I was like, "What?" So, but ever since then, I've been trying to get the Pop, and it's just there's no rooms available. There's no way they've fully opened that resort. There's no way.
Yeah,
it's just, because they're still operating as if it's.
Oh, they totally are. We were there. I did not have a Dole Whip on this trip.
Oh, we did. I did have that for Micaiah.
That's my face to you. Well, I wasn't in a park, and it got rained out at Disney Springs, so we went to Pop, which has it in the food court, and the food court was like all sorts of mobile order only, walking. I mean, it was like locked down, which was a little odd because, of course, they had just changed the mask and the social distancing. Right. I don't know. It just felt a little like, oh, right. No, we're still in some places like quite restrictive. So I didn't get my Dole Whip. But I'm staying at the Polynesian, so I can have one every single day.
Boom. There you go.
There we have it.
I still haven't had Tonga toast. I will do that in October.
Okay. But if you guys are listening and you have questions or topics you want us to cover, I do think I had a friend Kristen, hope you're listening. Hello. Who has older, like teenage kids. And so I thought it would be fun to like think about, we'll talk about a trip with grown-ups, no kids, my dreamy trip for the winter, but we might also kind of throw out some tips on how to travel with kids at different ages and things to enjoy. So
I'm looking at our picture right now from 2007. Was the first time we went and stayed for a week. This was like 3 years prior to kids.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. There it
really
is. I look like I'm 15. I love it. No old man beard. It's fantastic.
Oh man.
That's my trip. I feel like I didn't like, I plugged the resort, like, you know what I mean? But a lot of people like, do you stay there if you're going on like, yes, I want to stay there every time.
Yeah. Would you stay there for your next trip?
Oh my gosh. I would in a heartbeat.
And how far is it from Disney?
Well, from the top of the water park, which is right out in front of the resort, right? When you climb all of those like steps to be able to see, it's 192 is the road that it's on. So just on the other side of the road, we saw all of Animal Kingdom Lodge. Then we saw Everest, the back of Pandora. We saw Tower of Terror. So it's literally across the street from the back of Animal Kingdom Lodge.
That is super sneaky, and it sounds like it was fun, and like I'm sure it was a great value compared to
it was a
bedroom.
Here's what I would recommend. Check Airbnb. Yeah. We rented through their place, and so it was a little bit more, but we looked at we were not certain if all amenities were included.
That's smart. If you do it through the owners.
And they're not.
Clever.
But to be honest with you, what we know now, I'm just going to say we can book with confidence of staying in a cottage through Airbnb, and I will be confident that we will have all of resort amenities.
Got it.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And so, like, I mean, you're talking if you just need a 2-bedroom. I mean, these prices are just going to go up because COVID is we think COVID is disappearing, but like what's disappearing is people fears about traveling. So everything is just skyrocketing. But I mean, you're talking, I think it would have been for 6 nights through Airbnb, a 2-bedroom that would have been, now when I didn't talk about this. So the master bedroom had a king bed. So did the other bedroom had a king bed downstairs, like full-size sleeper sofa, or may even have been a queen.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure. I mean, so it sleeps 6 comfortably.
Easily. Yeah.
You know, and you still get 2 separate bedrooms. Each bedroom had its own bathroom in it. And there was a half bath downstairs. I mean, so it's great. But anyway,
so nice.
6 nights would have been $1,600 through, and we went the middle of June 18 through like the 25th, I think is when we went.
That's so great.
Oh, I didn't talk about, I missed the whole thing. We flew into Tampa, not Orlando.
Oh, that's right.
So why we flew into Tampa was there's this brand new airline called Breeze that literally had launched 3 weeks at our local airport. And if you don't know, it wasn't like the scary, like, who is that? It's the guy that started JetBlue, started Breeze.
Oh, yeah.
And so we flew round trip, checking 2 bags each way for 4 people for $499. That's why we flew into and Breeze goes to Tampa. That's why we flew into Tampa.
We're going to Tampa. Breeze, you go to Tampa.
And then we also chose that because the rental cars were like $150 cheaper because it just wasn't Orlando. They know they're going to get that money because so many people are coming to the big 3 theme parks there, and the other real reason was our return flight wheels up at 7 a.m. So we didn't want to get up at 3 a.m. to drive an hour and 15 minutes. So we decided to stay in Tampa the last night, and we left our resort like lunchtime, got to Tampa by 2:00, checked into our hotel, and then drove to Clearwater Beach, and the kids got to see some pretty water, and it was gorgeous the whole day. We were super excited about a sunset, and then the sky opened up and it poured for 90 minutes.
Oh, no.
But that's okay. Everything else went great. Like we got to play in the water. The one thing I will say though, the water was like bath water. Like we got in and was like,
oh, really?
This isn't refreshing.
Interesting.
But it was really cool to be there. It was very tropical feeling again, which is not what it feels like here. I mean, like our beach is great. It just doesn't feel tropical.
It's not the same. No. It's really not.
We're just a resort town that has an ocean front. That's what I'll say. Yeah.
That's right. And it's lovely.
All right. That's all I got.
Yeah, that's another topic for us to talk about at some point is transportation, because when we go in the winter, it will be sans Magical Express. So we'll figure out then what we're going to do. It was so great to see you. I'm so glad to hear about the trip, and I'm so glad you brought one of those things home.
Oh my gosh.
Coming to the beach.
Yes. Are you coming this summer at all?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I will be there.
Fair enough.
I got to pick the calendar dates, but also trying to meet up with another childhood friend. So you know the drill.
Yes.
All right. Well, have yourself a good one. And thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you around the next time.
You got it. Later. Bye.